Will, still, you ready to run this mock draft?
Oh, let's do it. Hey.
Let's boogie. Let's boogie. Let's boogie. Let's boogie. Phone lines gone. They shut down. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all to pieces. But let's take a look at this mock, y'all. So we'll start 1 through 16, then we'll go 17 through 32. So mind you, let me pause my music too before I say this. Mind you, every mock draft ever is nonsense. All of them. They're all terrible. Voch only does one for a reason, you know? I feel like it's a waste of time to okay, I'm going to do 10 mock drafts. Because if you do 10 mock drafts, you post them on social media, that's going to be 10 different times somebody's going to say that your mock draft is inaccurate. So I try to have a little fun with mine. I try to do a little something different with mine. I don't want to just, comply to the national narrative. Because to be fair, everybody's mock draft is as shitty as mine. But y'all love mock drafts, so we're going to run some mock drafts. My thoughts behind a lot of these picks were, I wonder how would these teams pick in real life. So this ain't Voch necessarily picking. If this was and I'm kind of being phony too, because sometimes it's Voch picking, sometimes it's the team picking. So whatever. But you do have to account for teams doing dumb shit. That's the one thing that's weird, man. I was on social media, and Alex, the Eagles fan, will be in my chat box, right? And he'll be like, "Why would we take this player?" Man, the Eagles do a lot of dumb shit I can't explain, but they do. There was some Seahawks who was like, why would you take Matt Corral? Shouts out to Brum, shouts out to Paul. I heard them talking. It was like, I don't see Matt Corral going ninth. Seahawks do a lot of shit in the first round that doesn't make sense. So how come for mock drafts you just expect your team to draft perfectly? If you're a Raiders fan in a mock draft, how do you expect your team to draft perfectly when they don't in real life? So as I was putting my mock together, it's a combination of what I feel, ignoring national media, having a little bit of fun, and accounting for the idea that teams suck at drafting, and most mocks are stupid anyway. All right. So Ikeem McCollum, who's number one because he's the best player in the draft, in my opinion. I put him number one. I actually shouted out my guy, shouts out to my guy Dalton from UCF Jaguar on YouTube. He's a Jaguars content creator. I was just talking to him, man. I was asking, I say, hey, man, if y'all end up with Walker at number one overall, you're gonna be pissed. He said, yep. I asked some other Jags fans. I say, hey, man, if y'all get Travon Walker number one, you're gonna be pissed off, huh? Yep. So I'm not bugging for thinking that Travon Walker should be the number one overall pick. I don't think he should be top 10, but whatever. That's whatever. Ikeem McCollum, who's number one. Aiden Hutchinson, sure. I think they can go here. They can go quarterback if they like. If they want to go O-line, sure. Aiden Hutchinson, number two. It's funny when y'all do like the PFF mock drafts or whatever, and they be like, this team needs, and every team will have like 3 positions or whatever. When y'all do like Texas mock, that shit say every position. They need all things. And I thought that was hilarious. So if you're in this situation, I don't know, just who would the Texans think is the best player on the team? I think they'll take Kayvon Thibodeau. Makes sense to me. Let's jump around for a second and look at both of the Jets picks. Will Steele. I don't think this will happen, but I saw Jets fans.
They loved it.
Some Jets fans loved it. I saw some Jets fans give me lip and back talk that they ended up with Sauce Gardner and Derek Stingley. Now, mind you, when I do these mock drafts, I think I give it a little more attention than some of the national guys. I went to Our Lads, right? Our Lads is a website where you can look up depth charts and shit. The Jets currently have 2 fifth-round picks playing corner. I don't know who those gentlemen are. I don't know how well they played. But those 2 corners ain't as good as Sauce Gardner and Derek Stingley. If you need 2 corners and Sauce and Derek Stingley are there for you, I think I did you a favor. I think I held you down royally.
I agree.
I actually thought about doubling up offensive line for the Giants because I was like, man, how dope would that? How quickly would that help the Giants if they got like Evan Neal and Charles Cross? Like if they got both of them, that'll be tremendous help for the Giants. But what I ended up doing was I went with Evan Neal, which is a good pick, and then I felt like the Giants to do some silly shit, like take Kyle Hamilton in the 7th because Giants do silly shit. So we did that. Malik Willis to the Panthers at 6, fine, cool, whatever. I took Matt Corral ninth to the Seahawks. Would Voch do that? No, Voch is a fan of building the house. So if the Seahawks lose Russell Wilson, I'm not going to take this as an opportunity to just draft a quarterback. I want to make sure the rest of the house is fine. So then when it's time to get quarterback, we can, go boogie. So Voch probably would have drafted the offensive line here. But I just can't assume that the Seahawks going to do righteous shit in the draft. I gave him Matt Corral. Who cares? We get to the Washington football team. Devin Lloyd's there. I know they just got Jamin Davis last year. They play two different types of running backs. Two different types of linebackers. I do that all the time. I always call linebackers running backs. Devin Lloyd and Jamin Davis play two different types of running. I did it again. Linebacker. I did this shit again. I think Devin Lloyd's a better linebacker than Jamin Davis. And to be fair, this is what pissed me off about Washington fans too. Voch, why would we draft linebacker 2 years in a row when y'all just drafted D-line 6 years in a row? Don't tell me what the hell y'all won't do. Now, do I think Devin Lloyd should go 11th overall? Nah. Do I think he's the best linebacker in the draft? Nope. Why did Washington do it? Washington do stupid shit all the time. Karlaftis to the Vikings. I think that the Vikings are actually a good drafting team. So we'll give them Karlaftis. Drake London ends up going to the Houston Texans, which is a good pick, but he's the first receiver off the board. Do I think that Drake London is the best receiver on the board? Nope. I just think that the Texans are the type of organization that'll disagree with me about the best receiver on the board. It's a mock draft. Who cares? But if Charles Cross makes it to 14, that makes sense. Now, this is something I want to ask you about, Will Still. Put yourself on the screen for a second. Let me ask you a question. I see a lot of Eagles fans, right? They'll hear Cowboys Jordan Davis discussion, right? And they'll be like, or just anybody will say this, well, Jordan Davis wouldn't make it past the Eagles because XYZ. I actually have a theory on that, right? And there's an Eagles fan in the chat box somewhere, I'm sure. I would love to ask him about this. Alex, for sure. So the Eagles have two defensive tackles. Cox, and they got Hargrave.
And they drafted a cat last year from
Milton Williams, Wilson, whatever, Milton Williams, whatever. Yep. In my mind, I don't think that Fletcher Cox leaving is the reason you get Jordan Davis, because Fletcher would be more of the 3 guy and Hargrave would be more of the 1-tech guy. So in my mind, Hargrave just got paid to be 1-tech guy, I believe. So I don't think Eagles looking for 1-tech. I think if they go D-line, I think they'll be looking for a 3-tech as opposed to a 1-tech because they just paid for 1-tech guy. Now, mind you, I love Jordan Davis so much that having Hargrave doesn't stop you from having Jordan Davis. But we talking about the Eagles. We may just be talking about, not drafting redundancies or what. They're not similar players, I wouldn't think. I think, I don't know. We'll cross that road later. I don't think they're too similar that you wouldn't draft them. But I just think the Eagles have other needs like, corner and shit, you know what I mean? Like, or like linebacker or something like that. I think the Eagles will go in a different direction. So if you're a Cowboys fan that's worried about the Eagles drafting Jordan Davis because Fletcher Cox is leaving, I think you should be more so worried about Devontae Wyatt than that. Alex, the Eagles fan, I would love to for you to give us some feedback on that thought. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But yeah, that's just what I thought. So let's get that.
Hold on. Alex said Hargrave is a 3. I think Hargrave is more of a 3 as well, but they don't really have that hoss at 1-tech. I don't think that they really care though, because when they drafted Milton Williams is not that big body hoss either. Fletcher Cox can slide over at this stage in his career, this age, and play that 1-tech-ish spot per se, right? But no, that's a great point that you bring up. Wyatt would be more of the guy to slide in when Cox leaves to be that 3-tech, hoss. So that's a great point. Never thought of it that way.
Alex says, "I'll call in if you want, man. We want to hear from you, man. Want to hear from you, Dog. Appreciate you." He says Hargrave is a 3-tech, really too. Sure, it's just that every time I seen Hargrave, he was an A guy beating the shit out of somebody. You know what I mean? But
also said he's in his last year of his deal.
That's also
Wyatt. I mean that's why this Wyatt pick makes sense.
Sure.
I think Davis or Wyatt here, but Wyatt really makes a lot more sense listening to you say that.
Sure. And something else that Cowboy fans want to, hedge a bet on is that we want teams to overthink this whole can they pass rush thing. We know Wyatt can pass rush, and teams may not look at Jordan as a pass rusher. We want teams to really want Wyatt more than Davis. So
cool. Don't look at him as a pass rusher, please.
Jordan Davis, his knees hurt. Some new shit. He can't pass. Whatever you need.
He's knock-kneed, bro.
He's knock-kneed.
Pigeon-toed.
Big Willie. He's knock-kneed. I skipped all over Jermaine Johnson. That's just what I think about him. My bad. The Falcons draft Jermaine Johnson at 8. I don't think Voch would do it.
Well, listen, Voch. I'm hearing, this is smokescreen season. It's the week of the draft, but sure. we've been hearing that Jermaine Johnson could go top 5.
That's crazy to me. That's madness to me.
That's wild.
And look, it's crazy because every time I say anything relatively negative about Jermaine Johnson, people just keep adding that to that Voch hates Jermaine Johnson portfolio. I think he's a good player. Top 5 is madness. I was on Jay Tuck's show last week, and Jay Tuck is a Florida State fan and Jermaine Johnson truther. I was like, Tuck, is Jermaine Johnson a top 5 pick? He was like, nah, he's not top 5 pick. So, bruh, that is crazy, Will, still. But I forgot. I skipped all over it. We was about to go to the next slide and I say nothing about Jermaine. Yeah, Falcons take Jermaine. Falcons do shit like this all the time. So, yeah, Jermaine Johnson. Whatever. And one of my Falcons correspondents, shouts out to Dan. He's on Twitch now. He's like gaming with Lieutenant Dan. Shouts out to him. He's one of my Falcons correspondents. He said he hates it, but he hates all the shit that comes with Falcons mock. So whether it be Thibodeau, he hate that too. Jermaine Johnson, he hate that shit too. So
to be fair, don't they need everything too? Just about
everything. To be fair, if the Falcons take a quarterback, you wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked. Garrett Wilson, my wide receiver number 1. He came off the board after Drake London. Why? Shit happens in the draft. But he goes to the Saints. Hey, why not? Michael Thomas is there. We don't know how happy Michael Thomas was. Sean Payton is gone. We don't know what that's going to turn into. The whole Michael Thomas injured for a whole year last year thing got kind of weird. We don't know what's going to go on. So, hey, Saints get Garrett Wilson. Move on with your life.